Death Watch.
Okay, so you guys had made it to Arturo's orchard, and you had taken the girl over to her uncle, who's also the innkeep and the mayor. And there you had discussed the rescue of some villagers.
Yeah, we were going to that guy's farm to pick up the trail.
Yeah, to Jason's field. Okay, so you had went to the field and you had heard some screaming, and that's where you had encountered some mountain cats.
Right, we smacked them around a bit and they took off.
Yep, and now you are faced with two men you recognize as Borderlanders.
Right. Well, I'll ask them what they're doing so far from home.
So they take a moment to gather themselves from the recent mountain cat attack, and they explain that they're one of them steps forward and explains that he works for Lord Ingtar. Are you familiar with?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so a name that you recognize, and that they had stopped at the pond here to gather some water, and that's the mountain cats that attacked him then. It doesn't offer any information as to really why, just that he works for Lord Ingtar.
Well, what could Lord Ingtar be doing so far away from home?
He explains that it's really Lord Ingtar's business.
Okay.
But he, after a moment, he introduces himself as Hearn and his companion as Veneer.
Okay.
Hearn?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll introduce myself, and I'll say these are my companion.
Okay. He'll ask what you guys were doing out this way.
Hunting wildcats.
And wildcats. I'm glad that you came along when you did.
Well, I'll tell him that some villagers have been abducted, and we're on our way to rescue them if we can.
All right. So he tells you that there's a lot of evil men about these days. We've caught the scent of them many times. Maybe we crossed trails with these raiders of yours. A mile or two back, there's a small hollow. It's off to the north. Someone tracked through there recently, someone who had done terrible things. They were heading northeast from here.
Okay.
That matches up with some of the information that you'd gotten from the town of
Right.
where these raiders had taken the villagers that they'd captured.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll thank him. We'll be on our way.
Okay. So if you follow his, he gives you a little bit more detailed directions on how to reach the hollow that he was talking about as well. Jason knows the way. So if you guys follow the directions, then you won't have to do any tracking.
Okay.
Once you get there, then we will have, what is it, you and Falk, Reen, or Rafe?
Yeah, that can track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, when you get to the little hollow there, you'll need to do some tracking. It's not that the tracks are hard to find, it's that there's so many. What'd you get?
21.
Okay. So yeah, you got it. You can pretty easily follow the what seems to be a main path that, as you come out of the trees, turns into a pretty well organized camp. So, as you pass through the trees, an efficient, well organized military camp sits atop a low, treeless hill. A handful of small tents surround a much larger tent at the crest of the hill. At the northern end of the encampment is a timber fenced pen, while a dozen or so horses are strung together at the southern end. A few soldiers stand around the campfires, their cloaks flapping in the chilling breeze. I don't know if you guys can quite see that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's roughly what it looks like. So, what would you like to do?
Charge.
Charge the hill?
So you said it was a well-ordered camp?
Yeah, it's pretty well organized. if you've spent any time around any type of military, you'd easily recognize it. Like, Cho'Gath recognizes it as a military encampment.
Any banners flying or?
Yeah.
No, there's no banners with this one. As you do see, though, that some of the cloaks that are flapping are white, which you would recognize as the Children of the Light, but you don't see any of their banners.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll mutter that under my breath. Bloody Children of the Light. What are they doing here?
And what are the ones that aren't in white dressed like?
If you study long enough, you'll see that they were once white, as they just really haven't been taken care of.
That are brigands that somehow managed to steal white cloak attire. I actually don't know much about white cloaks other than they're the first hated group of people.
Well,
for Rafe.
You can't tell us that, though. You got to know everything.
They're the number one hated group. Second highest city.
Well, you also know from your experience in Camelin as well that they're not very friendly at all.
That's true. Forgot about that.
Well, we could ride up and just try to negotiate for the villagers' release, but I don't know about negotiating with Children of the Light.
What do you think, Cho'Gath?
How many? There's how many?
You just see a few of them.
I mean, there's how many tents?
So there's a total of 5 tents. There's about 15 horses, though.
Yeah, I think that's too many to fight, and we're too few to have a strong bargaining position.
Yeah, unless we went for like a ransom, unless they'd sell them to us.
Yeah, that's true.
We probably have more than enough gold for that if it comes to it.
Yeah. Maybe we should just watch for a little bit and see what happens in the camp.
Is there any like small copse of trees around that we can hide in?
Yeah. When it gets a bit darker, as there's some wide open areas that you'd have to cross to get to the bit of trees. So.
Do we see any signs of the villagers?
Well, there's a pen on the far right side. You can't really tell what's in it from where you're at, though, or on the far side of it, the hill.
Yeah, so we need to sneak around so we can get a look at that.
I'm up for the task.
Falk will volunteer with that, too. He says that he likes the idea of scouting it out a little more. So, I'll have you do 3 hide and move silently, along with anybody else that's going.
I'll stay with the horses.
Yeah, me too.
Dang.
Let's just do one.
Just one.
I second this. Ah.
Nice.
All right. So, what is your first set?
I haven't gotten them. Okay, so 25 hide, 22 move silently.
Okay. So, yeah, you and Falk pretty easily slip out. You're still a distance away from the hill. So, as night starts to come on, they light some torches and some watchfires. But you don't get noticed at all when you're moving through. And then what's your second set?
25 and 25 hide, 12 move silently.
Okay. So, again, you guys creep a bit closer. You're about halfway between the trees that you guys just came out of and the little copse that was fairly close to the side of the hill that the pens are on. Still no indication that you've been had yet. Let's do his third set. All right, and then your third one?
18 hide, 21 move silently.
So, as you guys get closer, you hear from the direction of the hill, who's there? Doesn't seem to have quite pinpointed you yet, though.
Falk messed up.
Yeah. See, you took that opportunity to step on every branch and leaf, ring a cowbell.
Needs more cowbell.
Because he did a war cry to power up his...
Better do my
For the
war
cart
cry
and
now.
the
Get it
light.
out of the way.
No, you don't war cry.
What if we attack, though?
Yeah, so we'll just... I'll motion him down. Don't move.
Okay.
See what happens.
Make an owl noise.
Have you do like an assist,
Oh.
and then he'll try one more time.
Well, on both?
Just on the move silently.
I got the aid.
Okay. So the silence goes on for a bit, and then you hear a different voice say that it was probably just
A box.
yeah. It was
Just a
probably
box.
just a rabbit or something, right? I'll do one more to enter into the trees here. Okay. What's your hide?
Hides 22,
Okay, and move silent.
23.
Okay. So yeah, you guys are good on that one. So you finish getting into the trees there, and from this position, you can see that the pen itself is on the lower part of the back of the hill. There's light around it, and you see one guard in front of it, and then the two guards a little ways outside of the light, that you can assume was one of the ones that had called out. You see some movement up towards the top of the hill as well, around the tents, as it just looks like a standard kind of watch setup as they're moving back and forth. Is there anything else that you would like to glean from this?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to see if I can see where these villages are
The
at.
villagers. You
Or a likely spot, any place that's more well guarded.
So the pen that's there isn't very tall. You can see there's shapes moving around in there, and occasionally one of the two soldiers that are there guarding it will turn and snap something to them, and then back to their watch. But you do a spot.
21.
Okay. Yeah, you can make out the shapes. There's 11 villagers there.
In the pen.
Yeah.
You said the pen's like, what, waist high, chest high?
About chest high. And they don't really, it doesn't seem like they really expect much
to try
trouble
to
from the
escape.
villagers. Yeah. And it doesn't look like they're going to give them much trouble either. And they all seem pretty cowed.
All right, well, I guess I'll stay hunkered here for maybe a full 30 minutes. Maybe see if I can pick on any timing for patrolling guards or anything like that. And then I'll head back and report back to Adina and Shoga.
Okay. Yeah, so as far as the watch goes, it's pretty well kept. The two that are slightly outside of the light are just posted up there. They're not moving around at all. But the movement that you've been
And that's
seeing,
by the pen.
it's not quite by the pen. It's a little bit closer to the trees. The ones by the pen don't move at all either.
Yeah, they're just stationed there. And there's two of them.
There's two of them, yeah. And then the movement that you're seeing near the tents, it seems like people walking back and forth. That's a one person walking one way and then turns around, walks back the other way. The other person will walk the opposite direction, turn around and come back, and they meet in the middle. And then, yeah.
And that's by the tents.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll motion to Falk.
Okay.
With that.
If you guys want to go, instead of going kind of around like you did, if you want to go straight back, you know that it'll be a lot easier to
Okay.
get away from the two that you can see now. So it'll just be one check
Okay.
to just get away from the trees, basically.
13 and 12. Hide and move silently.
Okay. So Falk starts to move off. He's being pretty sneaky. You are trying to move as stealthily as possible, but your cloak or a piece of your clothing just gets caught on a branch and snaps it. These guys seem oblivious to seeing things, but
They hear.
yeah. Hearing a branch snap causes them to call out again. They seem to be, for guards, they seem to be unwilling to get farther away from the light than they are.
Okay.
Do an ocelot meow.
Well, I'll freeze for a moment. See what happens.
Okay. Yeah, and they don't advance any further. They just call out who's there and wait. And when no one answers, they
Good,
just,
it was no one.
was,
There's somebody there. They would have been like, just me.
Well, and if who wouldn't immediately answer the children of the light?
A dark friend.
I mean, so after you wait about 20 minutes, see they kind of relax a little bit more. It's not like you guys are the only things out here making noise, right? I mean, there's no animals running around everywhere, but it is happening. So you guys can make your way out
Okay.
of the trees there. It'll take you a bit less time to get back to Cho'Gath and Adina, since you don't have to worry as much about being quiet.
All right. So when I stroll back into where the rest of them are waiting, I'll paint the picture for them.
Okay.
And it was that they had the villagers in that pen
Yeah.
with 2 guards stationed there. They had 2 patrolling on the edge of the forest where Falk and I were sneaking, and then they had 2 in a circuit kind of up by the tents.
Okay. Any idea how many white cloaks total there are?
Well, I think all the ones that were patrolling or on guard duty were white cloaks. Yeah.
The 2 that were near the tents were white cloaks. The other ones you weren't quite able to make out
Because their clothes weren't as brilliantly white or whatever.
Well, it was the ones by the pen were a little bit too far away. You know that they were not white cloak though, but you don't quite know if it was just dirty or a different cloak. The 2 that were standing outside the firelight a bit, you couldn't quite make out any coloring on them either.
Okay. So yeah, 2 for sure were white cloaks, but
you can also remember that all the reports have been coming in of a Tarabon's army that's invaded,
Right.
and that's what the villagers have also.
that's who they said took.
Yeah, is
The
the
villagers?
is the Tarabon army that came in.
Yeah. They're clearly working with the white cloak.
So what do you think? Does that lend itself to a rescue, or do we
Well-
want to try to ransom them back?
I don't know. I'd rather just attack.
As vile as the children are, they haven't really done anything wrong, right? They're an invading army, but they probably haven't warranted anything for us to just attack them yet.
Well, if the ones here are anything like the ones in Camelin,
If that was the case, then you would have already been attacked long ago, Rafe. But depending on the charges of the people in that pen, there probably won't be any negotiating for them. They're probably dark friends, according to the children.
Right. Yeah, I don't know anything about the children of the light. But they are holding a bunch of villagers in a pen against their will.
yeah, I mean, it seemed like it'd be easy enough to get to the villagers, but I think once we got to them, the flight away might be somewhat difficult.
Yeah, because there's the horses. They have horses.
Right.
Maybe we could take the horses and put the prisoners on them.
But my impression was that it is dark now.
Yes.
I mean, that limits how fast they'd be able to ride around in a wooded area. Just keeping villagers that quiet. So maybe just ride in and kill all of the white cloaks there. That way they can't chase us.
Yeah, that's what I think we ought to do.
Rafe would actually be down for that, if that's what you think. Because he overestimates everybody's ability in our...
So the picket line, is that on the opposite side of the camp from the pens?
Yes.
Well, what if I charge that and make a bunch of noise and cut the horses loose while you guys sneak around, set the hostages free, and they can chase me? You guys might be able to slip away.
Maybe you should take one of us with you.
Falk will go.
Yeah, but the sneaky two are the ones that are needed to get...
Yeah. Falk and I could go let him out of the pen,
Okay.
and we'll do that after you make your ruckus at the horse lines.
Okay.
Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
I'll go with you, Cho'Gath.
Perfect. Okay. That's the plan. So, estimate how long it'll take you guys to get into position.
How long did that take us?
So, do you guys want to do that tonight?
Might as well.
It's
Okay.
better to do it at night, yeah.
So, if you go back in the way that you came out, it would take you about half an hour to get to the point where you guys got to sneak again, and then it'll take about 20 minutes of sneaking in to get back to the trees. You can go further around and get closer to the pen. That would take you about 2 hours.
But less sneaking or hiding, or
Yeah,
like,
because
less
you can just
difficulty.
kind of do a wide skirt of it, and then wait for the distraction and make a dash to the pens.
Yeah, so what? Give us 2 hours, or do they say 2 bells?
Yeah.
Give us 2 bells, and we'll be in position.
Okay. All right. Now, is there guards at the picket lines? Do they have
Yes.
torches or whatever? Can we see them?
Yeah,
In the
you
night?
see 2
Okay.
there.
All right.
So you and Adina will end up going around to the south end of the encampment, is
Right.
where the horses are going to be on. That would take you from where you guys are at. If you just moving normally, you can get there within about an hour, and there's a huge stand of trees that is fairly close
Okay.
that you can get to.
Good. That's the plan then.
What was the construction of this pen?
It's just wood. Pretty hastily assembled, it seemed like. It was most likely they just cut off some decent-sized branches out of the trees that you guys are in. And
Time to shoot an illuminator rocket at it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Could shoot that at the big tent.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
You should.
Yeah, might as well.
Maybe you should,
Well,
because you
maybe
could start out your
Adina should.
picket line attack that way.
Yeah. Well,
And then we would know.
well,
a
I guess that could be
a
Falk
signal
will
of sorts.
put in that could be your guys' signal that you're ready
Oh.
for them
yeah,
to
because
attack.
if you shoot that at the tent or even up in the sky, everybody's gonna be looking at that,
Yeah,
not you.
yeah,
And it's probably loud.
yeah. So you think we should shoot it
Yeah.
when we get into position?
Yeah.
Okay.
But didn't you guys have multiple of those?
Yeah. I don't know who was carrying them. I think
Well,
they were on the mule.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys could even take one to fire off after your assault on the picket line is done.
Well, do you want to do that? I don't know if that might be overkill. Well, because what I had in mind was we will just walk up in range, right? Because it's dark, and then when we're in charge range, then I'll charge, and you worry about the horses cutting the line and
Okay.
spreading, and then I will continue to just charge whoever I see and
Till it's time to run.
make a big ruckus while you get the horses away and get away, and then
I think
I'll
there's
catch
that-
up to you.
Element of timing with that rocket going off that could work with the horses being loose.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't know when they would be loose.
Okay.
Because if it explodes and they're loose, then they might
They'll bolt.
bolt.
Good
Yeah.
idea. So you'll have to light the rocket, Adina. Bring a torch. Just cover it up with your cloak.
That's what they teach us in stealth school. It's getting a little warm in here.
Just put a hot coal in your mouth.
Oh, as long as it's only touching my
Right.
tongue, yeah, or whatever. Otherwise, my teeth will explode from
Yeah.
heat.
Okay, so you and Falk can get into the stand of trees fairly easily. going around.
Okay.
It will be a bit of a run because there's no trees other than right next to the pen,
Okay.
unless you want to attempt to get to those.
No, I think staying in the trees. How long of a run do you think? A few hundred feet?
It will be about 150 feet.
Yeah, that'll be okay.
Okay. As you guys get into position, you see two figures on horses coming down the hill to the north where you're at and following the road that's a bit off to the west of you guys. They don't seem to be in a hurry. They're just
Okay.
kind of trotting off. I'll have you do another spot. They are carrying lanterns to illuminate. What'd you get?
11.
Okay. So you don't see it, but Falk whispers that they're dressed like the Taraboners that you guys had encountered before. That they have officers' insignias on their coats, though.
Oh, man. Would have been a perfect opportunity. Kill them and take their uniform.
Yeah, I feel like if I did a sneak attack, it would just turn into a protracted battle.
For an hour.
Why is your kidney so tough?
Cho'Gath and Adina, as you guys get into position, all of you guys do a spot check as well. Are you guys trying to be quiet at all when you get? Because you're going to be about 50 feet away from that picket line at the edge of the trees.
Right. That's where we want to chill.
Okay.
And then that's from where we'll charge.
Okay.
Like, I don't think it's likely that I'm going to be able to sneak in closer than that. So
I'm kind of hoping just that he'll cause a distraction and they won't notice me. If you want that to be stealth, I can.
I'll say at least a hide, right?
okay.
Well, actually, what's your spot?
9.
19.
But I need to get within about 30 feet of the horses, and then I'm going to tool air, and I can just cut their lashings with that.
And then set off the rocket.
Yeah.
Are you embracing the source right now?
Not currently.
I am.
You are, okay.
I'm embracing the taint. On Satan, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Wouldn't you clench the... Close enough, right? Wouldn't that be what channeling the taint would be, is clenching it?
Yeah, I wonder why they never tried that. They had the one power and then they had the dark one's power.
Well, there's a chance that is what the true power is.
Yeah.
It's because it drives you insane.
That's true.
And it kills you.
Okay, so as you guys get into position, you see a figure walking along the road out of the camp as well. Go ahead and do your hides.
What's that?
18.
That's what I got.
Okay, so an 18 and Adina?
11.
Okay. This is someone, this is another officer, Tarabon dressed.
Okay.
He's not really sneaking, but he's not really looking around for anything either. But he'll pass within about 10 feet of your little tree hideout there. He's following the road to the south.
Okay.
He's moving a bit quickly, though. He's not on horseback. He's just walking.
Okay. What do you want to do?
I don't really think it much matters. The main distraction's our job, so...
Okay. We'll just leave him be.
Okay.
But
So
10 feet is perfect charging distance for you.
Yeah, it's just that the sound of a heavy horse charging is pretty loud.
That's only a short distance. It'll be plop, kaplop, or what,
Yeah.
whatever
Aye.
whatever horses' hooves sound like.
Like coconuts.
Yeah, and then the sound of zombies getting exploded from Doom when you shoot them with like a barrel or when you hit them with the rocket. So,
It'll look like the Lancelot charge from Monty Python and the Holy
and
Grail.
then you'll also give us cover because you'll create a fine red mist in the
that's
area.
Concealment.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'll charge him and stick him with my lance.
Okay.
For Falk and I, we'll start moving if we hear commotion. We won't wait for the fireworks.
I don't know.
We'll start stealthily moving.
Yeah. I guess I'm all in. That's what I'll do.
Uh,
This is war.
So when he gets to that point that's about 10 feet from you, he stops. And so the officer stops and on a stretch of muddy road. For a moment, he lingers as if waiting while the branches of the nearby trees toss in the cold wind. Shadows dance over the dark road, revealing a menacing figure. I trust you're well, the officer stammers. We have no time for pleasantries, the shadowed form hisses. I have come with a command from our master. I see, replies the officer. Please continue. His voice wavers as the figure makes a sharp gesture that reveals a pale white hand. Silence! On your knees, worm, and hear your master's commands. The officer drops to his knees in the icy muck. Your efforts to sow civil war have been fruitful, but it is time for you to move on. Our Lord has work, great work, which requires your presence in Tanchico. Instruct your men to continue with their attacks here, but you are to report to Tanchico at once. Do you understand these commands? The great Lord of the Dark is my master, and most heartily do I serve him to the last shred of my very soul, the officer intones. He rises shakily and departs, heading back towards the camp. The dark figure remains unmoving, perhaps surveying the scene. Finally, after several minutes, it turns, and its black cloak flaring out behind it, and moves into the waiting shower. Yeah, you caught it, right?
I saw that slight shake of your head.
Yeah. Their cloaks don't move.
Right. Yeah.
So erase that last part from your mind.
I will.
So it turns, and its black cloak does not flare out in the wind.
Does it hang unnervingly still?
It does. And it moves into the waiting shadows with disturbing sinuous grace.
Blight knowledge?
Yeah. You know, Cho'Gath, what this is.
I got like a 9.
Okay. Yeah, so you're not quite sure, but yeah, and you've seen him. Yeah.
I'll tell her it's a Murdrel. And just in case she didn't hear, I'll say he said Great Lord of the Dark, which, as all of us know, means he's a dark friend.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I'll be sickened.
This disgusts me.
Yeah.
So
Can you imagine?
he's about 15 feet from you guys, or from where
Yeah.
he's heading back towards the camp.
And the Murdrel's disappeared now?
Yeah, the Murdrel went off into the woods on the opposite side of the road.
Would you still have charged if the Murdrel stayed?
Yeah.
Actually, on
Borderlander.
horseback,
He's got to.
he might be able to kill Mydrol in like 1 or 2 passes.
Oh, yeah, some of those damages he was rolling.
So you guys get into position, and you are ready as well.
Okay. So I'm waiting for any sounds of commotion, and then Falk and I will start to sneak across the field.
Didn't you guys have the firework?
No, Dina
oh,
has
you
the
guys
She
do.
firework.
does.
Okay.
As soon as she's cut the horses loose, she's
Then
gonna
she
set
sets.
it
Okay.
up.
All right. So yeah, we'll go back to you guys then. Okay. So what would you like to do?
I need to get within 30 feet, and then I'm going to embrace the source and start using Tool of Air to cut.
Okay. That the officer is still 15 feet.
Right. So I'll charge
Okay.
and kill him because he's a dark friend. And
Cutscene already happened, John. Sorry.
You're all right. Because I thought I was still under the impression that you guys had the fireworks. So, yeah.
No, I meant Brandon just cutscene killing
just
the first
cutscene.
time.
Yeah, that
he dies.
you charged and you thought you killed him, but he pats himself and he looks fine.
Then he takes a drink of water and
Oh, because you didn't ready your lance, your horse went through
right.
the dark friend.
Phased through him. Okay, so yeah, you will get you'll get one surprise, and then we'll go into initiative phase.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and you'll as well if you want to take anything.
Am I embracing the source before the surprise?
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll embrace the source when we start moving up.
Okay.
Yeah, I imagine you wouldn't even been able to stop yourself when you saw the merge rule.
I don't know.
That's
Maybe.
freaky stuff to see.
I didn't even know it was a fade, though.
Right.
Because my damn knowledge skills.
Does the merge rolls detecting channeling? Is that common knowledge in the tower? Does anybody know?
I think it is, but there's some stuff, like I think in the book, you actually have to be channeling for it to detect
It's
you.
not just embracing; it's a channeling.
Yeah.
So if he mentions that, you'll recognize that portion at least from.
I think it probably is fairly common knowledge that accepted and initiates might learn,
Okay.
along with all their histories and all that stuff. Sorry, Brian.
Yeah, you've been in there for quite a while.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah. You've picked up some knowledge.
I just probably have never actually seen one, and so that's probably why I didn't recognize them.
Okay. So you're charging. What'd you get?
28.
Okay, so that's a hit.
20 damage.
Okay. So yeah, it's a mighty blow that it doesn't kill him, but he's thrown to the ground with the force of your charge.
Okay.
That would have put me to like -11.
All right, so now we'll get initiative.
What about my surprise?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Adina, go ahead.
So yeah, I'm going to get within 30 feet if I already wasn't.
Of him or the horses?
The horses.
So you guys were 50 feet, so
Yeah, move
you'd
action.
have to move. Okay. So you're going to move up to take position to cut the horse line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, it says I can't do it this turn, but it says that like the weave I'm going to do is considered a mace because it does 1d8. Can that still be bladed if I want it to? And
yeah.
just keep the d8. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Yeah.
imagine that
Can shoot
its
there however you
damage is just the
Example.
scaling.
Okay.
Yeah, man, Falcon is a ridiculous initiative. All right, Adina
My initiative?
Yeah.
15.
and Shogoth,
Same here.
who's faster between them?
Shogoth.
Okay. Rafe.
20.
Okay, so Falk goes first. He's gonna delay his turn until, or his turn, and then Rafe.
Well, I'll be listening,
Okay.
trying to pick up any sounds in the camp to indicate the attack has begun.
I think we need to have a discussion on the way that sound carries now.
What do you mean?
Well, you
Well,
said it was a
he's
windy
got
night.
he's got a warhorse that
What is it?
just charged.
I think it's like a listen check with minus for every so many feet is how
Is
they
it?
do it.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
the skill in here will have rules on distance.
Yeah. So then you'd figure out how far away. And then I think they also have it for like wall types.
Right. And then the wind could be a modifier against it.
Also, if like a Baylor is breathing in your ear, if you're in D&D.
What are you doing?
I can't quit you, Baylor.
They're wreathed in fire.
That's why that
Some like it hot.
fireproofing spell
Cold night.
was made.
Yeah, so like how cold would it have to be for it to be like instead of a 3-dog night, like a 3 Baylor night? Because was it? It's like 66 when you're like in grapple distance with them.
Yeah. You know what'd be cool?
Jeez.
Would be like a play, a D&D play, with a Baylor who's in love with a kobold princess. Like a musical.
Okay.
I don't know. Could be
Like a Romeo and Juliet type
Exactly.
setup.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful though. Kobolds are overpowered.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about hearing that. I don't think
okay.
you could ever hear that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody could.
Yeah, I suspect we'll be waiting for
The firework.
the firework, but if we do hear like a call of alarm go up beforehand, then we'll start moving.
Well, before the firework goes off, I'm gonna hit it with balefire.
You
Okay.
resisted.
And then Cho'Gath.
I think our threats last game session got to him.
So yeah, this guy, he's laying on the ground. He's not moving, but you see, you can see that he's alive.
Yeah.
Dude, can you urge your horse to attack?
Yeah, I want to have my horse attack him. Let me find the... Okay, fight with war horse. If you direct your war-trained mount to attack in battle, you can still make your own attacks normally. So, it's a ride check 10, which I can't fail. So I'll tell my horse to stomp him, you know. And
Okay.
let me find the horses.
So the horse has 2 hoof attacks at a +6 and a bite at a +1.
We'll do the hoof attacks. What's the damage?
It's 1d6 +4.
Okay, +6. That's a fail. And a 10.
Miss.
Okay.
Can it do its bite too, or
Yeah, what does it say?
for its full attack?
You.
Are you on a light or a heavy?
That's a heavy war horse.
It doesn't indicate if it can do all of its attacks at once, but I mean it.
Does it have multi-attack?
Yeah, I think they cleaned it up in 3.5,
Yeah.
where it was like, this is what it does for a full attack.
Yeah, their listings are a little bit better. So when they have that full attack action, it'll list them all, and that means they can do them all. But I don't know if this one has that. I don't think so.
Yeah, they don't have anything like that.
Does it say 2 hooves or a bite?
It says 2 hooves and then 2 hooves
Bite, one.
+6 melee, bite +1 melee.
Yeah.
So I would assume it's either or.
I don't know, that +1 almost makes me think that's part of a
That's
full
got-
attack.
Yeah,
Because it's got such a big disparity in its
Yeah.
bonuses. Where if it was just the bite, it would be a lot higher, right? Because 2 hooves at +6 is pretty dang good.
Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and do the bite.
Okay. That's 19.
That's a hit.
What's the bite damage?
That is 1d4 +2.
6 damage.
Okay. And then Adina.
All
I'm
right.
sorry, did you still have you had an attack too, right?
Yeah, I won't take it.
Okay.
All right, so slashing the leads to the horses.
Okay.
So I don't know how they're bunched up or whatnot, so it'll probably only be one at a time.
Yeah, they're all they're staked out on a what is that called?
A hitch?
Yeah, best way to describe it maybe, but yeah, it's they've actually erected a little line for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was just wondering if they're like multiple leads bunched together that I could...
Oh no, they're individually.
This is
yeah.
going to take a while, guys. So, 2 for the first one.
Okay. 2 damage or 2 cut?
2 damage.
Okay.
I only can channel 1 weave at a time.
Oh, okay. That's right.
I might be able to just chop the hitching post. Hey, John,
Yeah.
what would you call if I wanted to just lift the hitching post out of the ground instead?
With arms of air,
Yeah, I can lift 200 pounds.
you could do it. Yeah, and it's a temporary post.
Can I do that instead?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I'll just lift the post out of the ground. I don't even got to get that close if I wanted to do that.
Okay.
And that'd be my turn.
Okay. So the hitching post pulls up out of the ground, and the leads that were there weren't tied tightly to it because they had 2 people watching over as well. But those fall loose, and the action of that hitch coming up and the noise it makes when it comes out of the ground is enough to scare the horses, who start to rear and panic. And a few of them start to dash off in different directions.
Yeah, I can do that from up to 130 feet away, so could I maybe blink back to that 50 foot?
Yeah, you can move back into the trees there. That's fine.
Okay.
So after this happens, from off to your left, Cho'Gath, you see just a blur coming or going through the trees, and that Mydril comes back out.
Okay.
He's going to come over and engage you.
We need a mitral firework. So that way you guys know that there's a shadow spawn firework.
Right.
So he'll have to charge up the road. Okay, so first we'll have you do a will save as it starts to come into range.
5.
Okay, so as it comes within 30 feet of you, you turn to look, and what is it that they say? The gaze of the sightless is fear. Yeah. As that definitely rings true. So you'll have a -2 on any attack rolls, weapon damage rolls, and saving throws for 4 minutes.
Okay.
Another reason to be bonded to me, because you can use my will save.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. Quickly bind him. Bind him. Okay. And then it will finish its charge to you. 29.
Yeah, it's a hit.
Oh, we could have done the stupid Taraboners we got. That way I could have known exactly when you guys were in position.
For 5 damage.
How many?
5.
Okay.
And then the officer that you had thrown to the ground there starts crying out for guards as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the Mydrall when it comes in, tries to put itself between you and the commander there. But he's going to disengage back towards the camp. Or I guess
He's got to stand up
he'll move.
first.
Yeah, he'll kind of crawl 5 feet and stand up.
Okay. Can I take an attack of opportunity? My lance has reach.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, go ahead.
So 23.
It's a hit.
5 damage.
Trying to stand up.
So as he stands up, yeah, you just like poke him in the back. He turns around and says, "Sir, that's not what a gentleman does." All right. Yeah. So he crawls away and stands up, shouting for guards, and then you stab him in the back, and then that'll bring it back to Falk, who again, you guys would never hear any of this. Like, it's going to be amazing if the people that are at the picket line hear him.
Well, how far away are we?
You guys are 150 feet from the pen.
So is that a -15
It's a +1 for every 10 feet away.
to the sound?
Yeah, so that's just to the pen, though.
Well, a loud sound might have a DC of 0, right? So you would add that number to it.
Go ahead and do your listen. We'll say that the post ripping
I
up.
probably didn't hear it.
Or the horses.
But you're going to see the horses pretty soon.
I got a 6.
Okay. Falk got a 16. Well, regardless of the sound, you don't hear sounds of combat, but you do hear sounds of hoofbeats coming through, and you can see in the
Or
firelight.
Falk does.
Yeah.
Well, it's not hard to hear these ones as they're coming down the side of the hill that you're on, and they're just running full speed without riders. So, but you can easily see the horses too, as they're some of them coming up over the hill, and a general panic in the camp itself as they go dashing by.
Okay.
So let's see, one big initiative for guards.
That's not a light horse. I haven't been riding a light horse at all. I've been riding a lie horse. There we go. Now it's a light horse.
Okay, so that will be your guys' cue then. The guards that were at the pen and that were on watch, they haven't reacted yet, so they're still there in stunned silence.
So I'll caution Falk to keep quiet, but we could start moving up, or we should start moving up.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, with the amount of noise that's going on, footfalls probably wouldn't be heard until you're really
Right.
close to them. So if you guys wanted to, you're 30 feet, right?
Yeah.
You could go the 120 if you wanted to.
In a dash.
Yeah.
A crazy dash. I think I still want to go around a normal speed.
Okay, so just do a double move.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think you can you still, I can't remember, I could be making this up, but like I know moving silently cuts your speed down, but I thought they had an option to move at your regular speed with a
It's like
penalty.
negative 20 or something.
Well, it's like that for running, I think.
Yeah,
if he
we're
wants
not running, we're just
Just walking.
doing our normal movement. Well, a double move, I guess it would be.
Yeah, like, oh man, I forget. I think that maybe Neverwinter did it right, where if you're hiding and moving
It's a
silently,
negative 5 penalty.
Okay.
you're
yeah.
like down to like 5
That's what I
feet.
think we should do.
Okay.
I got a 19.
What's it called? I thought there was a word for that kind of crouched over run.
Oh, I
like
don't know.
the stealth kind of covered
Was that
run.
with the
Yes.
5?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, the guards that are there don't see you guys, or don't seem to notice you at all. And that'll put you guys, 90 feet away.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the guards that were at the picket, they're at first trying to calm the horses down, and they continue because they have horrible spot checks to see what's happening
Well, it's night.
right down the hill.
Yeah. Well, we don't have any light
Yeah, no.
except for the moon.
All right, and that will bring it back to Cho'Gath. So you have the officer who is standing and shouting. The horses are running. The camp is in a kind of crazy
Mm-hmm.
milling mass of people and horses. Oh, sorry. The guards that were on your side start running into the camp, and then you have a Mydrall that's now in between you and the officer.
Right. I'm going to disengage down the road,
Okay.
the direction that away from the Murdrel and the camp.
In the camp. Okay.
And that's what, double your speed?
Yeah.
Right. So I'll get 80 feet away.
Okay. And then, so Adina, you see that the Murdrel had come back. Cho'Gath stabbed the officer in the back one last time, and then wheels his horse down the road.
Well, I'm going to stop doing the Arms of Airweave, and I'm going to get the firework out of my pack as a move action, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'll channel fire onto the fuse. Is it one of those where I can kind of hold it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Think of it as a
big
bottle rocket. Yeah.
Well, in fact, I think they actually came with launch tube.
Yeah, those were the big what are they called? Night flowers in this?
Like night blossoms, night flowers, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Because those are the ones that would shoot up out of the tube. These ones, you guys had found some of the smaller little bottle rocket type as well.
All right. So it's going to be a candle flame right on the fuse,
Okay.
and I'll just hold it up.
How tightly do you want to hold that?
Not tightly.
Okay.
I thought you said it was like a...
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But if you just put a little bit of extra pressure, it won't go anywhere.
Well,
You have to pick
thought
the
it was
right,
like a bottle rocket, so it has the stick.
PSI.
Yeah,
That
as
you're
if
using.
if you
It
hold the
shoots off
stick
the
on
stick.
it.
Is that
doesn't
the
it?
term?
What's that?
It shoots off the stick, I thought.
Oh no, the stick is part of it. Takes
Oh,
the stick with it.
Then I'll hold it lightly.
Yeah. It was
Or I could stick it into the ground. I
Yeah.
don't really care,
It
but I
doesn't
don't have the movement for it.
yeah, the shoots up and it's not a fantastic display of the night blossoms, but it goes off with a little bang and a little bit of burst of light over the camp as well. And that can be seen by you and Falk too. All right. The Birdrill does not follow you,
Okay.
as it moves off into the shadows, and when the officer moves, it paces the officer to the edge of the light.
Okay.
The officer, when he gets closer, and his guards realize that he's there, starts directing some out into the to the road where you guys were at as well.
Okay.
So we'll go back to Falk is going to delay his turn until after you, Rafe. Is that way?
Okay. Am I
So
next?
you'll be next.
All right. So I'll signal to start the dash
Okay.
to the pen.
So yeah, you guys will definitely make it with the run there, and when you get there, it's not very well secured, right? Like it's just kind of a rope that's hung over one of the other pieces, or one of the other wood planks, right? Like I said, they really didn't expect any trouble from the villagers. But with all the chaos that's going around in the camp, the villagers are pretty frightened. So you're down the road now. You don't hear any signs of pursuit. Did you want to talk to the villagers? I'm sorry, Travis. As you guys, that run would have taken your entire action.
Right. No, I'll just free action tell Rafe to get his bow ready. Falk, not myself. I might talk to myself. Rafe, you can do this. Get the pen open. Falk, get your bow out and make sure if anybody looks like they're coming our way.
Okay.
You know.
All right. And then it'll be back to Cho'Gath.
Well, I wasn't. So I'll turn around and I'll move back in towards the camp.
Okay.
So I can go 40 feet. And that's where I'll wait for any pursuit.
Okay. So, yeah, you move back in, and you can see now that they're gathering torches and starting to come down the road.
Okay.
They haven't quite left that hill yet, though.
Did the fireworks scare the horses anymore?
Yeah, there are no more horses out there.
Okay.
In fact, a couple have even run by you.
All right.
They're just scattering in every direction they can.
Okay.
All right. Adina, so if... I'm assuming that you're not trying to stealthily...
Well, let me change that. If there are no more horses, then I will go back to Adina.
Okay.
Because if they can't chase us on horseback, they're never going to catch us. So.
Okay. Yeah, so they weren't able to calm any of the horses in enough time before that firework went off to have any way of getting them under control, or at least enough to mount a pursuit. But Cho'Gath returns.
Time to go.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess mount up.
Okay.
Yeah, we should head back to intercept where we think they're gonna get out with the villagers, like meet up with them, right?
Or do we want to try to lead them away? Huh?
Well, they don't have horses. So,
Oh, that's right.
I mean,
right.
that was the original idea, but if none of them even have horses, they're gonna be wandering around here forever. Well, maybe we should just wait and see what happens.
Do you want me to keep messing with them?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll mount up, and how close are they?
You guys are 50 feet away.
How close are from them?
So from the picket, they're gathering torches, and it looks like they're forming into ranks right now, as they're going to go down to
All right.
investigate. But their commander was just attacked. So
A torch in the middle of them, about
Okay.
130 feet away, if I'm able to. That's how far I'm able to do this.
okay,
I'll channel fire into that at a first level, and I'll take that torch and make it into a bonfire.
okay. So they're gathering and they're lighting. A couple guys have torches and they're lighting other people's torches off of that. And as one touches, it's a huge burst of fire. As seems impossible for a torch to do that.
And
But
I won't hold it, so it will flare out.
does that do damage as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me find it for you. Wait a minute. Where is it? Bonfire is that right? 1, 2, yeah. 2d8.
Okay.
So you want me to roll that?
What's the footage on that? Is it a 10-foot?
Bonfire. It says 3, so it'd be like
3.
the person holding it or the people holding it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say that the person who was reaching out to touch that other person's torch, that other person will get
8.
the brunt of this. So that's
Flamethrowers his face.
yeah. I mean, it bursts a light and
I'm disfigured.
it's like he held it out right in front of him, and it flares and it catches his head, and he crumples to the ground.
Sheena said he better not find out about.
Melted his face off.
His
I'll
eyeballs leaked down his cheeks.
I'll demand Shogoth swear some form of like
Oath. to
fealty.
you.
Yeah,
Never-
oath of
never
silence.
happened.
It's not like
Well,
the
I
stuff
mean-
he does is far worse than what I've just done.
They probably just put too much combustible on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously.
They're all
There's
cursed.
no way that
in the
I would know
wind.
that you had done.
And yeah.
Well, you do know that
But,
I can
Plus
channel.
the strange way fire behaves on the
Yeah.
Almoth Plain.
That's true.
Exactly.
Well, it's Shadow Spawn are around too.
A bubble of evil, you know.
Dark friends.
Yeah.
So the murderal moves back off into a little bit deeper into the darkness as the guards start, or the soldiers start to come down.
Okay.
Now you can see that there is a total of 12 guards,
Okay.
or soldiers, sorry. And, 11
Uh-huh.
soldiers. 'Cause, they at least do the decent thing to check and see if their buddy's alive. Unfortunately, he's not.
Yeah.
And their officer, spurs him on to go out to the site where he was attacked. So this round they'll make it to that site, which is 15 feet away from where you guys are, and they're inspecting the area.
Okay.
And that should bring it back to Rafe.
Okay, so I'll start working to get the gate of this pen open.
It's a simple action. Yeah,
Okay.
You just undo the loop.
And also I'll speak loud enough that the villagers can hear me. Tell them my name's Rafe Grigoro, and I was hired by Arturo's orchard. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
To rescue you.
Okay.
Come with me or the light can take you all.
Nice. Almost all of the villagers are pretty cowed from the treatment of the soldiers. So there are 4 though that when you step in or open the door and say that they announce that they'd be willing to follow you if you were to mount an attack on the soldiers.
No, we're just going to get out of here. There's
Okay.
too many for us to fight.
If you want to instruct them, they'll help
All right.
get everybody moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be like, I'll just point out we're going to head down there towards the tree line, 150 feet away.
All right. Yeah, they get them going, and then. All right. So Rafe and Falk are getting the villagers ready to move with the aid of 4 other villagers. All the soldiers they're doing a search that's starting from that attack point and circling outwards, as there's lots of tracks along that road.
Right.
So it's almost impossible to tell yours from any others
Yeah.
that have been there.
Okay. Well, if they're heading in this direction, then we should be safe to go around and meet up with these guys. Escort them home.
Okay.
I mean, they're not going to catch us on foot. Even though I would sure love to kill me some White Cloak dark friends. You know, White Cloaks are kind of a cool idea. Not cool, interesting idea. Remember how horrified that Shanshin... Which one was it? It was a commander. I can't remember what book, but they were just horrified by the very notion of a military power that wasn't beholden to a nation.
Oh, right.
I can't remember who. It might have been Eganin.
Yeah.
Bail Damon, his. But, I mean, that is kind of a. Is there
Yeah.
anything like that in the world?
I don't know. I think the church had that for
Yeah.
a while. They would draw from different nations. They would do what do they call it? It was like the equivalent of jihad, but for the
Yeah, like a crusade.
crusade. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, John.
All right. So you guys can get the villagers out undisturbed. All the guard or all the soldiers are on the other side of the hill. Rafe.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're on the other side of the hill. So we're still in once the last villager's out, then we'll take up the rear.
Okay. So yeah, in short order, you guys find yourself with 11 villagers
Is that how many we were looking for?
Yeah.
Okay.
who are grateful to be out of their prison, and When you all get together, one of the four comes up to you, Rafe, and explains that he's got he's got urgent information. He'd overheard the guards talking about a raid on Arturo's orchard.
When?
They tell you that it's supposed to be at dawn. There were two officers who had rode out earlier,
I saw him
and there's a
come back.
bigger camp that they're going to.
Okay. Well, we'll have to travel through the rest of the night, I guess.
Yeah, it won't take too long to get back, a few hours, but
Perhaps we can evacuate the village, make it where when they raid, there's no one there.
That's probably the best plan.
Do you know? I'll ask him if he knows where the other camp is.
he points down the road to the north. It says it's somewhere that way, right?
And is it still nighttime?
It is. So some time has passed. If you guys left now to get back to Arturo's orchard, you would get there at dawn.
Okay. Well, we got to hurry these folks along.
Okay.
In fact,
Maybe send
somebody should go ahead.
Yeah.
One of us should run ahead.
Who's got the
You.
fastest horse?
Well, you should do it because
Okay.
you're better at talking to folks.
I am. All right. Okay, I'll gallop off.
Okay. So yeah, if you push the horse, you can make it. Let's see. The speeds are the same for Wheel of Time horses as they are D&D horses. So
Yeah, but distances are different.
I have a light horse.
it's true.
Not to the degree that you need to go do a thesis on it.
Sometimes they're different. Depends on if they corrected their copy and paste of the text from the D&D book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Which they did not in a few cases. Shame this didn't take off, though. It would have been cool to get more
More modules.
Yeah.
stuff for
Yeah.
it.
I know that there's some pretty decent conversions out there to,
Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah, the biggest one I saw was based off the Star Wars Legacy system.
Yeah.
Which
Where
might
they
be
do-
kind of fun because
Yeah.
all the channeling stuff would be skill based then.
Right, yeah. So they just converted everything. It's a free PDF. We might try it sometime.
So you'll make it there because of the train. You'll make it there about an hour before dawn.
Okay.
At some point, I think I'll heal you.
Sure.
Get you some subdual damage.
Okay.
That'll be a real small one. So 9 points, which should top you off.
Yeah, I only had 5. So is there women and men in this group?
Yes.
And any children?
No.
Okay. So is there anybody that's like injured or impeding us from moving more quickly?
No. I mean, they weren't poorly treated.
Okay.
And that they had that going for them.
At least this batch wasn't poorly
Yeah.
treated.
So we can
they're
we can
not
double time
famous
it.
soldiers yet, right? Yeah, you guys can double time it. There are 3 of them though that insist on getting back to their farm because their daughter's there.
Well, then I'll just mention that we saved a girl from a farm in
Okay.
case that's their daughter.
And she's in
Yeah.
town, isn't she?
And we took her
Yeah.
back to Turo's orchard.
Okay. Yeah. So a little bit of back and forth would determine that that's
Right.
Issa's family. So yeah, you guys will can make it back shortly after Rafe makes it back there.
Okay.
It was a little bit easier to navigate people in the dark than horses.
All right.
So was it the mayor that,
Yeah.
or the some village leader that requested?
Yeah,
that?
the mayor is who asked you for the village. So when you get back to the village, you come in pretty hard on your horse there, and there's for the people that recognize you from when you set out. There's a small cheer that starts up that dies quickly when they see it's only you, right? As they were expecting everybody to come back. And the mayor comes and asks what happened, expecting to hear that you guys had failed, since it's only you.
Yeah, well, I'll describe what happened and that the villagers are safe and on their way back now. But we have learned that a larger encampment is planning to attack your village, sir.
Okay, so the response is mixed. For those that are too far back to hear the last bit,
What did he say?
they're like, oh, they saved them. So there's cheering going on in the background, and there's panic and chaos in the front as people are trying to decide what they should do. So the mayor Hobbs says that you've done so much for us already, and we hesitate to ask for more. But please, will you lend us your skills in this effort to defend our town?
I'll take a look around the town. Does it look very defendable?
That's the town there.
So no.
Yeah, it's a farming community.
Yeah.
It would take a bit of work to make it defensible, and I'm sure that there's a few places in there that you could convert, but there's so many entry points, and there's so many wood structures. Then all you've been hearing is that these Taraboners have been going through and torching places, so it's it doesn't look good.
Well, I'll tell him that he needs to think about evacuating the town, because I don't know how many are coming, but they're trained soldiers. They're not villagers, so they'll burn through this town like a wildfire, like the very shadow itself.
Do a diplomacy.
Like a drunken Ileana with a lantern.
Right.
As he's of the position that they can defend the town with your aid, and he lets you know that they have that they would be able to supply at least 12 men to the effort who have some experience with weaponry through either hunting or some other.
Well, I'll say that might work if it was just the camp we were at, but this raid's coming from a separate encampment, and we don't know how many people there are. It should really panic them. Plus, they're dark fins, and there's a shadow spawn there. Fades. Then they'll be like, this guy's full of it.
Yeah, exaggerating.
Fairy tales. His friends are probably dead. So
he's just come here to steal our gold. Hang him. What?
Throw him in the pit.
Yeah, they're of a mind to defend their town.
So they're set on it?
Yeah. So what was your diplomacy?
14.
Yeah. They're set on defending their town. The Hobbs tells all the elders and the women to take the kids and anybody of fighting ages to remain.
Where is he taking them? Out of the town?
Yeah, they're to go to it's the only stone house in the village there, and it's on the outskirts. It's actually this one. Is there to go there?
And based on where we heard the encampment was located, where is the direction? If they were just to ride straight from their encampment towards the town, where would they come in from?
So they didn't have very accurate information on where that encampment was, but...
Which way did I ride into town?
You would have come in from the north. Well, yeah, when you guys left, you went to the north and then to the northeast, right? So you would have come, southeast and then south to get back this way. You guys were cutting in through the woods. So if it's an army or a big troop movement, you know that getting through those woods was pretty tough just by yourself on horse.
Well, yeah, I'll be cussing them, bloody villagers, and I'll sketch a quick plan to defend against the direction I think they might come from.
Okay.
I don't know. Like tell them anybody who's good with a bow, get up in a high spot.
This road here, based off of the information that you can give of where that camp would be, this is the most likely road that would lead to that camp or wherever they're at.
So
right?
most likely they would come that way.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, I'll tell them to get 5 men to get on that road to the stone house where it kind of chokes up with the trees there.
Okay.
And maybe they can ambush anybody that makes it through the rest of you, which they will. And you'll fail in your ambush, and your women and children will be killed.
Okay.
Or sold off to Mergles for their pleasure.
So, as Rafe's organizing a hopeless defense and letting him know that it's hopeless, that's when you guys will show up with the other villagers.
Okay.
So, of the people that are left that haven't been moved to that house, there's a lot of warm greeting from them when you guys show up with the villagers, and they direct all but those 4 who had helped you earlier to that house. So you'll have a total of 16 that will help you.
Okay.
If that's what you guys decide to do.
Well, I think actually as soon as I lay out that plan, I'll tell Dill, I'll give him some instructions that when Cho'Gath gets here, you tell him these bloody, light-blinded villagers want to mount a defense, and that I'm going to ride out and see if I can scout where this might be coming from.
Okay. So yeah, he's more than happy to do that for you. So when you show up, Rafe is gone.
Right.
But there's 12, well, what you said, 5. So
Yeah.
the mayor and some of the villagers are now armed with boar spears and bows.
Good.
And as soon as you guys show up, Dill comes up and lets you know that Rafe said that these bloody, light-blinded villagers want to defend their town.
Right.
And he went to scout ahead to see if he could figure out where the army was coming from.
Cho'Gath, what's mother's milk in a cup?
Yeah.
Well, that's just perfect. That suits me right down to the ground. And I'll start directing him where to put people
But I think you have...
based on the assumption that that's where they're coming from.
Okay.
I think you have the 7... What, there were 12 total?
12 total, and then you just brought
Those 4
more.
so I think you have 11 with you.
Yeah. So they're assuming, based off their information, that they'll be coming from this direction here.
Okay.
Right. So,
See that? Those houses right there, kind of like in the middle?
Yeah.
If we light one of those on fire, I can turn it into a firestorm without it needing to stage.
Right.
It'll just become a firestorm in a 50-foot radius.
Yeah.
And that will do 5d8.
And then show them where I sent the 5.
So
Did you see?
so he
we could
sent
wait until they
5.
get there,
Yeah.
and then you can do it, or what?
I need it already burning. I need a house fire.
Okay.
And he sent 5 to this area here, archers, to hide in the trees.
Up there?
Yeah,
'Cause
the
that's
women
stone
and
houses.
children and elders are in this house. So they're here just in case anybody breaks past. As they're set to ambush anybody that gets past all of you guys.
Right. So then I will tell him, well, I mean, how do I, like, I'll go aside with you and say, how do I even bring this plan up without,
I don't know. I don't even know if I really want to go through with that. But
Right.
if they
Yeah.
want to defend themselves, there's not going to be much of a village left anyway if it's any number of white cloaks.
okay. Well, what if we did the same plan? We just had them chop down a few trees and lay them in the road and set those on fire.
It has to be big enough. It doesn't matter what it is, just that the fire has to already be big enough.
Okay.
We could do that, maybe soak it with oil,
Yeah.
and then I can, or one of you can start it, and once it gets big enough, then I can...
Perfect. So I'll tell him that road there,
Mm-hmm.
with 16 people, we should be able to chop down trees pretty quick. So lay a bunch of trees across the road and soak them in oil.
Because you want to create a fire blockade.
Yeah.
It would save us some time if we just gathered the firewood from the houses.
Sure. You'd have to have a lot of firewood, though.
Yeah, and with all the places right around here, you'll be able to get quite a bit.
Sure. Okay.
But I am starting to look kind of tired. Pretty haggard.
So,
But everybody else should be up on, with bows. They should be up on roofs and, inside houses with those spears,
We might also want to soak some of the surrounding houses. White cloaks have been sitting in villages on fire. So,
when you mention white cloaks, Hobbs.
well,
cloaks,
I guess if you
the Taraboner.
yeah,
Okay.
or the brigands, invading army, whatever they.
Okay, so yeah, they'll easily get to work on anything that you guys instruct.
Okay.
So yeah, like you're gonna want a fire line 50 feet around where the bonfire's going to be, or the house fire.
Right.
You guys wanted it right at that split.
Yeah, if they're coming from there, we're gonna have to scout.
So
Yeah.
there's only one group of houses that's near that road. The rest is the forest. For scouting, it doesn't take too long when you're traveling down the road to start to hear horses galloping.
Okay.
You're gone roughly 10 minutes at a pretty hard pace before you start hearing it, and it still sounds in the distance. The sun is starting to rise, and you can see dust being kicked up from it.
Well, I want to try to see
Okay.
so I can get a count.
So there are hiding spots on the sides of the road in the trees. If you wanted to hide there, if you wanted to be more brazen, you could stand in the road and then count them, being ready to charge back the other way.
Yeah, I guess I'll go off the path there.
Okay. So as they approach closer, we'll have you do a spot. We'll say that they are...
Dark One Zone, look it.
Dark One's own luck it again.
I know, I'm thinking about it.
So they're about 300 feet from you.
Okay, well, I got an 8.
Okay. So from what you can see in the early morning with the dust around, you can count 7 of them.
7.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just ride out and take them myself.
Yeah, I'll just go.
It sounds like there's more horses. There's a lot of well, I guess not dust, but mud being flung around from that, and you had went out to the east.
Well, I guess, it doesn't have to be accurate. The most important piece of information I needed was the direction they were coming from. So,
Okay, yeah, they are coming up the way that was assumed.
So I mean, as soon as I have that information, I guess I'll head back.
Okay.
That's a good one. You could pitch that plan as a Borderlander tactic, or maybe I can for you or something like that. A common tactic in the Borderlands is to
To fire the town.
essentially make it where they're fighting on hostile ground the entire way.
Right. Yeah. No, I will. I mean, I imagine it
Might
probably
actually
is.
be.
Yeah. Well, wasn't there a town in the Borderlands that was basically just there to be fired?
It was on
Right.
fire constantly.
Yeah.
was, I
When it
think.
gets overrun by Trollocs, they just fire it and
I
then go
think
back
that
in
was.
and rebuild.
Yeah, I think there was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all of their defenses were like
We're fallback
retreating.
tactics. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even their towers, everything, they were just supposed to
layers
pull
of. Yeah.
them up all the entry points and then
Well-
wreak havoc as the Trollocs go by. But
Just based on my knowledge, which you can decide if I have that or not. If they're doing a raid, I'm assuming they're all going to be on horseback, which means it's going to be better for people to be elevated, firing down at them, and so that's what they should focus on and leave any melee to us.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm going to be up on a roof,
right.
130 feet away from where we plan.
yeah,
That's
no, they're-
if he says that they're coming the direction he needs to get back to us before we set that plan into full.
Yeah, I mean, if I only rode 10 minutes out, then just knowing the direction is enough, and I'll head back.
So like I say, he didn't have to go very far. They're fairly close
Yeah.
by that point. So as you guys are directing the people to gather wood and they're piling it in the street is when he comes back
Okay.
and reports that they are coming from that direction.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be like kind of giving orders to the villagers about how big this is going to need to be.
Okay.
And lots of oil. All the lanterns, empty them.
Yeah.
Right here.
So you come back to a pretty interesting scene here, as you had started with the idea of defense at this split that comes into the town, and that's where Cho'Gath and Adina had picked it up. But now there is a giant pile of wood that they're pouring oil over.
Did you need a diplomacy or anything for me to take charge of them? Or
No, they're willing to listen to any one of you, especially since you guys brought back the villagers.
All right.
So
Where's Dill?
Dill is doing whatever you instruct him to do.
I'm going to tell him that his job will be to stay with Adina and guard her.
Okay.
But he's got a short sword I gave
Yeah.
him, and I've been teaching him how to use it.
Yeah, he's really excited for that, and Falk will take charge of the archers on the roof.
Yeah, and Falk needs to be the one who shoots the fire arrow, because it's got to be lit for her stuff to work.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he's going to have to do that. He's the
Yeah,
only
so
one I
how
trust.
long will it take this wood to count as a house fire? This wooden...
With as much oil as you guys are pouring, like they're putting every bit of oil that they have onto it, right? So it's not going to take long. I mean,
All right.
think dumping barrels of gasoline onto wood, basically.
All right, so I guess how far away are they?
Well, I imagine by the time I come galloping in, I'll say we got about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Forward scouts?
Roughly 5 to 10.
Yeah, I counted 7. If that's only the vanguard, I don't know if they'd raid with only that many, but it seemed like I heard a whole lot more.
We need to make Cho'Gath, we need to make sure they go for that pile. Is there any way you can think of that would bait them?
I'll do it. I'll be the bait. Right? I'll be on my horse right there. And then when they see me, I'll act like I'm running away. And they'll give chase.
Yeah, and I'll jump down from my saddle and slap the Amerlin seat on the flank, send her running, and then I'll climb up the nearest house to the roof.
Okay.
I'll make sure
Do you have a
Falk
bow?
knows
Yeah.
that Cho'Gath has to be 50 feet away from that pile of wood before he shoots that fire arrow.
Okay. So you guys make your preparations. You all take your positions, and that's where we'll stop for tonight.
Oh, come
Because I'm hoping that
This has been a Death Watch production. Thank you for listening.